So I start with who knows what much Clash 50 knowledge? Yes, no, nothing at all.
Yeah, a bit. But not
Cool.
much.
So they were built. First two were built 1967. The rest of them were 1968. Line itself was built June 68. For use on the West Coast main line between Crewe and Glasgow. Because when they were built, the electric wires only went as far as to Crewe. And I went round to Manchester. That's not relevant to the story. So what would happen on all your Anglo-Scot trains? An old AC electric locomotive would bring one up from London to Crewe, change the engines over for a pair of these. They'd run up to Glasgow at 100 mile an hour, calling it very few stations. When they finally put the wires up, they transferred over to the western region, working trains out of Paddington to places such as Birmingham, Banbury, Oxford, Worcester, Plymouth, Penzance, Bristol, occasionally Cardiff and Swansea, Newbury. And then also out of London Waterloo, replacing 33s on the Waterloo Exeter via Salisbury route, but occasionally appearing in places such as Portsmouth and Brighton as well. And that sort of out of Waterloo is really where they ended their days in the early 90s, 91, 92. Just because the stop-start nature of the service was killing them. They were designed for long stints at 100 mile an hour. And you're stopping every 10 minutes just knackered all the locos. Line itself was withdrawn in 91 and arrived at the Midhants Railway in 1992.
Right, okay.
Stayed for a couple of years before moving up to the North Yorkshire Moors Railway and then returned back here in 2012.
Yeah, I don't remember it in the early days when I used to come down here. So, yeah.
So it was here for a couple of years and then went away and then came back again.
Did it come back restored?
Yeah, it was all work in order. We'll come on to it in a minute, but the current state of affairs is relatively recent. Even a couple of months ago, we're still hoping would have been out on the front of the train, put it that way.
Is it not operational?
Not at the minute.
Oh, right.
That's why there's a big shiny QR code in front of you with a bacon bucket. So where were we? Yeah, so Lion was here 2012. Quite a regular performer. For a while was the only operational diesel on the line.
Yeah.
We now luckily have the 20s and the 47 all operational at the minute, which has worked quite well because just after Christmas, New Year's Eve, booked out before the steam lights train, came up with an earth fault, engine shut down. What on earth's going on? Nearly 6 months of fault finding later and lots of trial and error and swapping bits out and no, that hasn't worked, or that's got water in it, that shouldn't have water in it, but that still hasn't fixed the problem. Traced back the issue to the main generator.
Oh, right.
Which is going to be an expensive fix.
Does it need a rewire or something?
We don't know yet. It could just need a clean.
Right, okay.
We had a second opinion before. It could just do a clean, but we spent 400 quid on cleaning products all the Bossman. I didn't spend it. Bossman spent 400 quid. Because it's privately owned. It's not owned by a railway or a society. It was purchased by one man. And he sadly passed away a few years ago, and it's still in the family basically.
Right, okay.
Which is why fundraising is a bit interesting.
Yes.
Because it's not a railway asset as such, and it's not a charitable asset, so you can't get all the grants you usually can.
So you're looking to change it?
I'm not sure at the minute. The idea has been floated. Whether it ever happens is I doubt it would happen. But yeah, what's got to happen? The main generator's got to come out, but to get the main generator out, you've got to lift the engine out at the same time because they are bolted together, and then split them up, put the engine somewhere. The generator goes away. They'll assess it and goes, it needs X, Y, Z, which costs you A, B, C, and then
they can't do that when it's in there.
No. And that is why we're in the yard today and not on the front of a train.
So no time scales yet or anything?
No. We hope to get the lift done in the next couple of months. So nothing's going to happen until Day Out of Thomas is done because that's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
But sometime in August, September, lift it all out, send it away, and we'll know a bit more then. That's a brief life story. Very brief. Have you got any burning questions? Anything does?
No, not really. I don't.
Where's the hot plate on this one?
There's a proper hot plate at the other end.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought it was just a box, but I opened it earlier and it's actually a little gas stove.
Nice.
Well, I wouldn't use it if I was you.
God.
It goes on one way, of course it does.
Is it A end or B end?
Number 1, I think. No, number 2. It says up there.
Are they very different?
Cab desk setup is the same. The back wall's a bit different. So the number 1 end has one big middle door. Sorry, no, 2 side doors.
Oh, right, with all the electrical.
Yeah. Whereas here, no, you got all the electrics in here. So I can't let you through. So, but let's do your best not to fall out. And the same on the other side, but you've got all these electrical cubicles, which contain all your circuit breakers, all your control cards, dials, and the like. One thing with Lion is, well, a few other preserved things as well. And we got the idea from 5015 Valiant at these lengths. It's fitted with a preheater.
Oh, right, okay.
So especially in the cold months,
It takes the strain off.
put it on for an hour, warms the engine up, and so reduces the wear and tear. But also reduces all the white smoke out the top, which is wonderful.
The fun bit,
wonderful for the environment and wonderful for your neighbours.
Yeah.
So, right, just clear that. But yeah, I think it costs something like 3 or 4 grand to put in, but if you put 50 quid in the tub every time you turn it on, it brings it back. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to all sorts of past 50 rubbish. Some of it may be correct, some of it might not be correct, but it's all entertaining. But yeah. Do you want to swap around the driver's seats if you want? Take as many photos as you want. If you got any spare coins, that would be. Or you want to take a picture of the thing and have a look later, that would be very much appreciated.